Um, this defense didn't perform like we expected. And it was definitely disappointing for a lot of fans because this is supposed to be the strength of our team. And I actually have an interesting stat that I can pull up right now. Since Kyle Shanahan took over as head coach in 2017, they've been trailing in the fourth quarter by 7+ points 24 times. They have won 0 of those times. Like, they've actually come back to win 0 of those times out of those 24 times that they've been down more than 7 points in the fourth quarter, 0 times that they've won. So my question to you is this a bottom 5 team without the defense at its best? Because obviously they've shown throughout Kyle Shanahan's tenure that they haven't really been able to put up 2 strong offensive performances in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, man. The game that we just watched
It's true.
against the Falcons, we didn't have a complete defense. Defense is hurt. We lost Travarius Ward prior to the second half, and Kyle Shanahan. I mean, so much mixed emotions with him. I like him as a coordinator, not so much as a head coach. I'm not a big fan of him as a head coach. I am a fan of him as a play caller. I think too much responsibility on his plate hurts him. Kind of reminds me real quick of Norv Turner, if you remember. I know you're a youngster, but Norv Turner used to be the offensive coordinator of Troy Aikman and the Cowboys before he becoming a head coach for the Raiders and the Chargers. Great offensive mind. But as a head coach, terrible. And I kind of get the same similarities with Kyle Shanahan and Norv Turner in that from that perspective. Now, are we the bottom 5? I mean, we had Debo, we had Ayuk, we had a good run game. We were not running enough. It seems like Atlanta took a script out of our playbook and ran the ball at 30 plus times on us.
Yeah, that was bad. I think it was. They controlled that whole game.
Yeah, so they were running on the outside, inside. We couldn't stop them, and we were passing the ball more than we should have. Now, a lot of people want to sit there and go, the drops here, the drops that, but Kyle Shanahan should have ran the ball more. And to your point with those stats on the fourth quarter, they're stats for a reason. And Kyle seems not to be able to bring us back in the fourth quarter, whether he's with us or when he was with Atlanta. And that seems to be a problem.
It's crazy because like people say stats aren't everything, but that to me is an important stat because that shows, can your offense win? Can your offense carry? Can your offense be the superhero? And it hasn't been. It really hasn't been. I mean, you saw the defense obviously wasn't at its best. You know, Marcus Mariota, they were making him look at one point like Lamar Jackson at his best. Like, they were getting him with I remember, go back to that 2019 Ravens game when Lamar Jackson was just tearing us up in the run game. At some points in that game, it looked like Marcus Mariota was doing that. And to your point, I mean, they ran it 39 times, I believe, plus Marcus Mariota running it. So they controlled that game through the run. The defense wasn't at its best. I mean, I think Marcus Mariota's first incompletion came with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, which is not good. So this needs to be a game where your offense just takes it all on the shoulders. But the problem with that is that, I mean, they've never been like, they did it in the first half, but they've never been able to really do it, as that stat shows. And I mean, there were, I think, a lot of risks taken downfield, obviously, with the deep shots. With like, they took a lot more deep shots, but they had to do that at some point in the game for them to stay competitive in that game. And I like the aggressiveness. In that sense, I did like that out of Kyle Shanahan because he did show aggressiveness. But in another sense, can you adjust? I mean, he really hasn't showed that he can adjust in big moments, and that's the problem. And I mean, real quickly, going to Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he's good and he played efficient, but since throwing the ball isn't his strength, You know, when you throw it 41 times, you start to play with fire a little bit. And I mean, that interception, I believe it was the last interception to Debo, was high, and we had seen that exact same throw happen in the Rams game and the Panthers game, but neither teams could pick it off, but the Falcons did, and they capitalized. So when you turn Jimmy into a passer, your team is immediately at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, like I said, the receivers missing those passes, Ray, and also the tight end,
right,
Warner,
that's true.
missing
Completely
those plays.
different games.
But my question to you is this, and to those that are watching, what are those players, the ones going deep? Why isn't Danny Gray even active for that? Why wasn't Debo or Ayuk, who has been very successful through the whole game, trying to catch that deep ball? Why was it they were throwing it to Warner, Charlie Warner, really?
Yeah.
Or throwing it to Ray McCloud on those deep passes? I mean, was Kyle trying to be? Sometimes I think Kyle is just too clever for his own good. He tries to be clever and utilize different players, but defensive coordinators are not dumb. They catch on pretty quickly. And to your point about the running game, listen, ever since we went the white nine, whether it's Robert Saleh or now DeMeco Ryan, the Niners have had a hard time with mobile quarterbacks. I don't care if you're Kyler Murray, Marcus Mariota, Russell Wilson. If you can run on us. We always it's hard for us to contain a mobile quarterback. And I don't understand why our defense struggles so much against. Now, their running backs were kind of successful because we were missing Javon Kinlaw and Eric Armstead, the two pillars of the inside. And let's be honest, Bosa's a great run stopper, and he was on the outside. And then Samson is also another great run stopper, but he was in and out like 5 or 6 times because of injury. He wasn't consistent on the outside. And when you're going to put Hyder or Charlie Miniu on the outside, you're going to be able to run on the outside. And that's what took place. And when you need an offense to step up and put the weight on their shoulder and says, okay, our defense is struggling. Let's win this game on our own. It's really hard because you can't trust Jimmy G to do that with his arm. You can't. And if they stop the run, which they were pretty good at doing, and make us one-dimensional, they know Jimmy can't beat you with his arms. And there were some nice plays. Like I said, they were dropped, and it should have been caught. But those 2 interceptions, people don't want to blame the second one on Jimmy because it was batted off of Debo's hands.
It was high, though.
Thank you. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It should have been lowered. And so that I put that responsibility on Jimmy for that interception. So 2 INTs, man. So did Jimmy play completely bad? No. He had his good moments.
Yeah.
But he's still not the quarterback that I can trust to let me just put it this way. If Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback of the Niners on Sunday, would we won this game with the bad defense that we have?
Not even a question. Absolutely.
There you go. So Mahomes is the X factor, not Jimmy.
And there were, sorry to cut you off, but real quick, there were plays in that game where, yes, the deep balls were good actually, but I feel like there were plays in that game where he could have hit slightly more of him in stride. You know, that throw, that last interception, like we've seen that throw the last few games. It just, like I said, it hadn't been capitalized on. I think Mahomes would have been more accurate. Another thing that I saw was Jimmy in the all-22, go back and watch, throwing off of his back foot a lot, not willing, like it's his definitely accuracy issues could be like a quarterback that is more elite could fix those problems and could play a little bit more hearable.
Yeah. And let's be honest, Camper, shooting ourselves in the foot doesn't help either. When you complete a first down to Ayuk, and that was a beautiful pass to Ayuk, and then it gets called back because of our center. Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. either. So, and that's moment. It kills the momentum. Football, if you played it, if you've been a part, it's all about momentum. Do you have the momentum going your way? And simple plays like that can kill a drive quicker than anything. And the momentum, and that's what happened with us. Next, you know, we're kicking the ball away. So, was it totally on Jimmy? No, but Jimmy is not the quarterback that I trust